surrounded by emotions. They follow us. We all live into conversations, into relationships, into quiet moments when no one is watching. But among all emotions, there is one that arrives the fastest, burns the hottest, and leaves the deepest scars: anger. It only takes a single sentence, a look, a moment of silence. Your chest tightens, your thoughts disappear, and before you know it, words escape that you can never fully take back. When the fire finally fades, what remains is not relief, but regret, shame, and the familiar question, why did I react like that? Today, I want to offer you a different kind of answer, one that may feel unexpected. What if the anger you felt was never the real emotion? Anger as a secondary emotion. In psychology, anger is often called a secondary emotion, not because it is unimportant, but because it is protective. Anger appears when something deeper is too painful to face directly. It steps in quickly, loudly, aggressively to shield us from emotions that make us feel small, exposed, or unsafe. Beneath anger live our primary emotions: sadness, fear, loneliness, disappointment. These emotions are raw. They make us vulnerable. So the mind does what it has learned to do best. It replaces vulnerability with strength. It wraps fragile pain in sharp armor. This is why anger feels powerful. It gives us control when we feel powerless. It makes us loud when we feel invisible. Anger is not the enemy. It is the guard standing in front of a wounded heart. Relationships. Fear beneath anger. Let's look at relationships. When someone we love doesn't respond, when messages go unanswered, the anger that surfaces often sounds like blame. But underneath that blame is fear. What if I don't matter? What if I'm being abandoned? Those questions hurt far more than anger ever could. So instead of admitting fear, we attack. Not because we want to harm, but because we want to feel safe. Work and shame. The same pattern: a critical comment, a correction, a mistake pointed out in front of others. Anger rises instantly, but hidden beneath it is shame, the quiet pain of feeling inadequate, the fear of being exposed as not good enough. Anger redirects the pain outward. It protects our sense of worth, even as it damages our relationships. So why is it so hard to say what we truly feel? Because many of us were taught early on that vulnerability is weakness. Don't cry. Don't be afraid. Be strong. We learned that showing pain was unsafe, that emotions had to be controlled, hidden, suppressed. But when we block vulnerability, we don't just block pain. We block love. We block intimacy. We block joy. So the real question is not, why am I so angry? It is, what part of me is hurting beneath this anger? Intergenerational patterns. These emotional patterns rarely start with us. Anger is often passed down through intergenerational emotional learning. If you grew up watching adults handle conflict with rage, your nervous system learned that anger equals survival. If anger was forbidden in your home, it didn't disappear. It turned inward, becoming depression, numbness, or passive aggression. What we don't heal, we unknowingly repeat. The body in survival mode. Anger doesn't just live in the mind, it lives in the body. When the brain senses threat, the amygdala triggers an alarm, adrenaline floods the system, the body prepares to fight, and the prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for reasoning, empathy, and impulse control, temporarily shuts down. In a modern world where physical combat is rarely needed, this unused energy has nowhere to go. So it turns inward, manifesting as chronic stress, high blood pressure, heart disease. True emotional regulation is not about eliminating anger. It's about listening to what it's trying to warn us about. Anger is a signal, not a command. The power of the pause, the 90-second rule. Psychiatrist Viktor Frankl once said that between stimulus and response, there is a space. That space is where our power lives. One way to access it is the 90-second rule. When anger rises, pause for just 90 seconds. That is how long stress hormones take to move through the body. Breathe, count, step away. You are not suppressing anger. You are giving your rational mind time to return. Naming the real emotion. Once calm returns, name what's underneath. Not "I'm angry," but "I'm lonely," "I'm scared," "I feel ashamed." The moment we name the true emotion, the brain begins to settle. This is where self-compassion matters. Instead of criticizing yourself for being angry, try understanding yourself. When you can hold your own pain gently, your need to attack others begins to fade. Speaking from vulnerability. The final step is expression. Replace blame with honesty. Instead of saying, "You never care," try saying, "When I don't hear from you, I feel afraid of losing our connection." Vulnerability invites connection. Anger invites defense. Closing. Integration. Each night, reflect on the moments that stirred strong reactions. Ask yourself what primary emotion was present. These patterns took years to form. They won't disappear overnight. But with awareness and practice, anger no longer has to control you. Don't reject your anger. Look beyond it. Behind its harsh voice is a truth asking to be heard. And when you listen with compassion, your inner world softens, and the world around you begins to soften too. This is MindTalk Share, a space to understand the mind and grow through awareness. Thank you for being here.